What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to be going over some real estate investing tips and hacks from a full-time real estate investor, me. And I guarantee you some of these strategies you have not heard of. Maybe some you have, but you're definitely going to want to watch all the way to the end of this video. And so let's jump into it. And the first hack is buy near a Whole Foods. If you purchase a property within a mile of a Whole Foods, the chances of that property appreciating are significantly more than a property far away from a Whole Foods. And the reason for that is that Whole Foods has, a team of people that they pay, tens of millions of dollars to scout out the best locations, the up and coming neighborhoods, the places where Whole Foods, $1 billion corporation, can make the most money. So I think it's smart to rely on their own research. They can do all the work for you. And then you just, do a radius around, a mile or so location of where that Whole Foods is going and try to purchase a property there. It's very similar to the McDonald's and Burger King strategy. And I don't know if this is 100% true, but I read this somewhere, is that McDonald's will, spend tens of millions of dollars looking for the best locations for their McDonald's. And then what Burger King will do, instead of spending tens of millions of dollars on research, they'll say, well, if that location is good enough for McDonald's, it's good enough for us as well. They've done all the legwork to find out the best locations. So we'll just build a Burger King right across the street. So you can do that same strategy, but with Whole Foods as well as Trader Joe's. The next real estate investing hack that you should be doing is using an FHA loan to purchase a multifamily building. Most people think that, with a first-time home buyer loan, they can only buy a condo or a single-family house or a townhouse. However, with residential loans, and FHA is only 3.5% down, you can actually purchase up to a 4-unit apartment building. So you can literally buy an apartment building. You do have to live in one of the units, but you could rent the other 3 units out, pay the rent, probably have some cash flow every single month. And if you're looking to get into multifamily real estate, this is the best way to do it. Because then after a year, chances are you've probably built up some equity. Maybe you can even get a home equity line of credit and use that to purchase maybe a 10 unit or a 20 unit. And you can kind of keep expanding your real estate portfolio from there. It's a lot harder to expand your real estate portfolio when you're just buying condos or single family houses. So I'd highly recommend looking into that. The next hack is a strategy called wholetailing. So you've probably heard of wholesaling. You've obviously heard of rehabbing. Wholetailing is kind of in between. So if you find a really good off-market deal, instead of spending 50 or 100K, putting in the work to fix it up and taking 6 months out of your time, you can actually just relist the property, doing some minor landscaping, cleaning the property out, maybe just spending $5,000 or maybe $10,000 on it, just to make it look good for the next investor. And this works best for properties that are not complete gut jobs, properties that are quasi-livable, where somebody could qualify for a loan. Because instead of just wholesaling it to your list, you can basically just list the property on the MLS, and you'll have tens of thousands of more buyers looking for fixer-upper types of deals, and you get a much higher price for it. So that strategy is called wholetailing. And actually, one of the top investors in my own area does this a ton. They basically just buy properties at such a significant discount that they can just relist them on the MLS, with a licensed agent, expand the buyer pool to tens of thousands of buyers out there, and get significantly more than if they just wholesale it to their off-market cash buyers list. The next hack, and this is for properties that are on the MLS, is to look for properties that have bad photos. Because if they have bad photos, it usually means it's a bad agent, and it usually means there's going to be less competition, which usually means you can get a discount on the price. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to properties that have had bad photos on the MLS, and you get there in person, and the house is actually really nice. And it's interesting, if you actually look up the story of Airbnb, the history of Airbnb, when they got started, they had zero popularity. And it was because they had bad photos. And so now with Airbnb, it's basically required that you have professional photography. And they said that was the one thing that, made the entire difference. And now they're, multi-billion-dollar corporation. So that's the power of bad photos right there, or good photos. So definitely check them out. The next real estate hack is to get a mentor. Now, a lot of people in real estate think they're too smart, they don't need any help. However, the thing with getting a real estate mentor, if you choose the right one, sometimes it's just one thing that you might learn from them that can open up a whole world of deal opportunities. So you see all these real estate coaching programs, real estate investing coaching programs. And the thing with these coaching programs, at least the majority of them, they're run by full-time successful real estate investors. So you're learning from someone that is making 6 figures in this business, doing deals, has seen probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of deals. So I'd recommend, paying for a mentor. It might cost you $5,000, $10,000. There's some mentorship programs that cost even $50,000. But if you look at what you can make from a deal, I don't even do deals where I make under $50,000. If it's a rehab, if it's a wholesale, that's a different story. But getting a mentor is massively important and can take your business to the next level. The next real estate investing hack is to go Section 8 with your rentals. Now, a lot of people think there's a stigma around Section 8 that the people might damage your property and whatnot. However, I have several Section 8 rentals, and I found that not to be the case. But not only that, with Section 8, you just get guaranteed rental income from the government. It's just like an auto deposit into your account. So even if a person has like a 750 credit score, every now and then they might be late with a payment. Sometimes they might just not want to pay you. With Section 8, it's just guaranteed. You don't have to think about collecting rent. And there's also different standards that you have to meet to be in Section 8. You can't just like be anybody. And if you were to damage the properties, there's oftentimes consequences. And a lot of times Section 8 will have, a type of fund that will go towards the repairs if there was any type of damage like that. So, there's something to be said about guaranteed income. The next hack is to buy a property in a transitional neighborhood. Now, the definition of transitional neighborhood kind of varies depending on who you ask, but generally speaking, they're older neighborhoods that are close to kind of more of the established neighborhoods, and they also have an arts scene going on. And I just read that, but what transitional. Everyone knows what a transitional neighborhood is. And those can sometimes have the best deals. If you're looking for your property to appreciate in value, and that's like the number one thing, and you want to be accessible and close to different things, transitional neighborhood is great. I was reading an article about, one person bought this amazing house in the suburbs, like 45 minutes away, the white picket fence and everything, and they paid, I don't know, it was like $700,000 for it. Whereas this other person bought a house in a transitional neighborhood. It was like a 2-bedroom row house, and it was, they purchased it for like $200,000. And 10 years later, the prices are exactly the same for both of those properties. So you may not get the huge yard and white picket fence, with the transitional neighborhood, but in terms of value, over the course of a few years, it's probably going to go up a lot more. And then you can always work your way up to that, house with a nice picket fence if that's what you're looking for. So there you have it. Those are my top real estate investing tips and hacks and tricks, if you want to call it that. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.